In 1892, Lily Flagg was Huntsville's bovine belle and queen of dairy. Signal's Lily Flagg was a Jersey cow born in Frankfort, Kentucky. Her parents were Georgian and Little Nan. As a calf, her Kentucky owner, W.J. Clunn, sold her to the owners of Montesano Dairy in Huntsville, W.E. Matthews, Milton Humes, and General Samuel Moore. General Moore, manager of the dairy, observed that Lily Flagg was different than most of their other cows. When she reached milking age, she produced an unprecedented amount of milk that was rich in butterfat. So much so that her owners decided to track her production of milk and churned butter independently from the rest of their dairy herd. It was not simply that Lily Flagg was a special cow that produced an extraordinary amount of milk. Matthews, Humes, and Moore were anxious to bring attention to the merits of the Jersey breed and dairy farming in general in an area where cotton reigned as the economic backbone. To that end, they set up an experiment with the cooperation of the American Jersey Cattle Club to test Lily Flagg's production over a year. From June 1, 1891 to June 1, 1892, herdsman L.C. Goodall analyzed her milk, cream, and butter. Astoundingly, Lily Flagg produced 11,339 pounds of milk, from which 1,047 pounds and 3/4 ounce of marketable butter was churned, placing her as the leading Jersey dairy cow in the country. The results were announced at the Montesano Dairy to a crowd of around 300 who erupted into applause. And soon after, the publication, the Jersey Bulletin, named Lily Flagg Queen of the Jerseys. General Moore, to honor Lily Flagg, threw a celebration that would become infamous in Huntsville's history. He bragged unapologetically about winning the American Jersey Cattle Club's Silver Cup, saying those attending his celebration would be able to drink out of it. Over 1,500 engraved invitations were sent, highlighting Lily Flagg's accomplishment and beckoning everyone to his home on Adams Street. In preparation for the party, Moore installed electric lights in the house and painted it Jersey yellow. The party boasted bright decor, an orchestra, and some of the best food in town, courtesy of Zenie Pruitt, Moore's cook. Even Lily Flagg was on display with a garland of flowers around her neck. The Huntsville Mercury reported that 500 people were in attendance. This party to end all parties was followed up by another celebration thrown by the American Dairy Association on Montesano Mountain, and a dinner at the Huntsville Presbyterian Church, where Lily Flagg's milk was used to make ice cream. Talks began of Lily Flagg competing at the 1893 Chicago World's Fair. In Chicago, her reputation preceded her, drawing a large crowd. However, the fair was rather anticlimactic for Lily Flagg because ultimately she was not permitted to compete due to a lackluster preliminary trial. She still drew admirers from across the country, however, and many rallied around her. After the World's Fair, Lily Flagg never returned to Alabama. She was sold to C.I. Hood of Lowell, Massachusetts for about $10,000. Hood bought 2 World's Fair winners as well to add to his herd. It was at this point that Huntsville lost track of Lily Flagg. It was known that she went on to drop calves, 2 of which went on to have impressive butter records as well. And over time, there was talk in the cattle community of her children and grandchildren. Though the exact year is unknown, Lily Flagg did eventually pass. Lily Flagg's legend lives on today. Lily Flagg parties are still thrown, and over 100 years later, she continues to be a namesake. A few miles south of downtown Huntsville, there is a Lily Flagg community, including a street and businesses which bear her name. A local brewery produces a Lily Flagg milk stout. A Huntsville author wrote a children's book about Lily Flagg, and she is mentioned in several other local works. Lily Flagg, the legendary dairy cow, is still remembered well.